Hello, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian Wheeler from One of My Guys Strong Mouse, because when I was in the Army, I had like heat stroke, something happened, can't talk right without buying something. Alright, so that's why the straw and everything, I just used that. As you can see with this custom insert Gandalf here, the Gandalf stand-in in the background. I didn't notice that was a Gandalf stand-in until I have the video up and it's paused on his face. I'm like, that's not Ian McKellen. That is his stand-in. And you can see down here, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim official trailer. Now, there was previews of this of a type of Lord of the Rings anime thing that's been in production for a few years, supposedly. The only one returning from the action movies is, because it's connecting to the movie versions of Peter Jackson, is Miranda Otto voicing Eowyn, who kind of voices this whole section. Now, if you're new to my channel, I am a current young fantasy writer myself and trying to read a whole bunch of different stuff and everything like that. I wanted to read through classics and everything like that, so I also read through the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I'll have as a, so the last portion of this book. The Return of the King I just got done about a week ago, posted my review. Now, in the back of this book, which is what the inspiration for this movie is, the thing about Helm Hammerhand. So this video is going to have spoilers. I've already watched this video, but I didn't want to talk about it yet because I wanted to read to see, like, wait a minute, is there anything about Helm Hammerhand that I can find in this book? And there is. And I'm going to read what it says, so it could be spoilers for how this movie goes. But I felt it important to talk about it because I don't want to just react and not say anything. When I want to react to something, I want to actually talk about what do research and talk about what I'm looking at and everything like that. So, this is the War of the Rohirrim thing, and then I'll get into the book. So, take a like here. So, it connects it first. Oh, crap. I forgot to do the thing. There we go. All right. There we go. Now you can hear it. Eyes. Okay.
All Middle-earth knows the tale of the War of the Ring. But 200 years before that,
Riders of the Mark! Brothers of Rohan!
there was an older tale.
Arise!
We come with an offer to strengthen Rohan.
Hera, daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
Our fathers speak as if I were not even in the room.
I do not want to marry you.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne. You will live to regret this, old man. He's dead. You will pay for this with your life.
The boy I knew would never wish for war.
The boy you knew is gone.
Fire!
There's so many of them. I pledged to fight for my king.
You know nothing of war.
I'm the fastest rider you have.
People need hope, Hera. Something to believe in.
My pride. My joy. You could rule the world. You think I am afraid of you?
You should be.
What does mortal want with rings?
Okay. Now, I know the thing that came out about this is it's very, people maybe calling it possibly woke because girl bossing and everything like that. But going into Peter Jackson's version, let's start talking about it. Let's go back. Let's see, where was the scene? Here. course, this is the thing. I'll leave it on for the moment. All right. Let's leave it in here for the moment. This character is not necessarily mentioned by name in the thing. That's what the writers, like Peter Jackson's wife or so, that's what they based this off of. They wanted this character to be the forward and everything like that. Now, there is, I could see some way that this character, what they could be doing. Now, I know they say, I'm the fastest rider and stuff like that. That's a callback to Arwen in Fellowship of the Ring saying, I'm a faster rider and stuff like that. Because in the book, it was Glorfindel, or not Glorfindel, it was Glorfindel. It was an elf that took Frodo as much as he could to the river before, Racer come in, so he had to let Frodo kind of go alone, so he tried to hold back the... Just read the book. The books are different, okay? They made Arwen a little bit more important compared to the movie. Now, originally in Two Towers, we have behind-the-scenes pictures and some video. Arwen was at at Helm's Deep fighting, but they changed it to, you know what, take her out. That doesn't make sense or everything. It's one thing to show the Elves, but to put Arwen there didn't really make a lot of sense, and that's what they went with. Although I'd like to see the stuff with Miranda Otto fighting seemingly the Uruk-hai in the caves. There's some little scenes of that. But again, they didn't do that. Maybe for the 25th anniversary stuff, we'll start get like a complete extended version of every single little thing that was shot. Like, I'd like to see the wedding between Faramir and Eowyn. But going back into this, the story of Helm Hammerhand, at least from what I know, unless there's something in Lost Tales and any other Tolkien books, it's from this Appendix A about the House of Earl. Now, Earl was the founder of Rohan. You can say it like that. And fast forwarding, we'll go to my screen here. But I'm going to read from you exactly what it says from this Appendix C so you can understand where they're drawing from and everything like that. So here we go. So possible spoilers here, which is going to tell a lot of things. So you know what's already going to happen in the movie. But here we go. Of the kings of the Mark between Earl and Theoden, most is said of Helm Hammerhand. He was a grim man of great strength. There was at a time a name named Freka who claimed descent from King Freywind. Though he had, men said, such Dunderlandish blood and was dark-haired, he grew up rich and powerful, having wildlands on either side of Adorn. Near its source he made himself a stronghold and paid little heed to the king. Helm mistrusted him, but called him to his councils, and he came when it pleased him. To one of these councils Fricka rode with many men, and he asked the hand of Helm's daughter for his son, Wolf. Now that's where this took place, where Wolf was asking, to be made a, son-in-law to be heired and everything like that. This is the Helm Hammerhand daughter, right here. She's not named here, but this is what they based off. But Helm said, you have grown big since you were last here, but it was mostly fat, I guess. And men laughed at that, for Fricka was wide in the belt. And it does show him being a big guy. So they are accurate with how they're depicted. And then Freka fell in a rage and reviled the king, and said that the last old kings that refuse a proffered staff may fall on their knees. Helm answered, come, the marriage of your son is a trifle. Let Helm and Freka deal with it later. Meanwhile, the king and his council have matters of moment to consider. When the council was over, Helm stood up and laid his great hand on Freka's shoulder, saying, the king does not permit brawls in his house, but men are freer outside. That's why you see them walking outside. And he forced Freka to walk before him out from Edoras into the field. To Freka's men that came up, he said, be off. We need no hearers. We are only to speak of a private matter alone. Go and talk to thy men. Now, in this, they have it between a bunch of people in front of the thing. Okay, so they changed it up a little bit. And looked and saw the king's men, his friends, far outnumbered, and then drew back. Now, Dunderling, said the king, you have only Helm to deal with, alone and unarmed. But you have said much already, and it is my turn to speak. Freka, your folly has grown with your belly. You talk of a staff. If Helm disliked a crooked staff that is thrust on him, he breaks it. So, with that, he smote Freka with a blow with his fist that he fell back stunned and died soon after. Helm then proclaimed Freka's son and near kin the king's enemies, and they fled, for at once Helm sent many men riding to the west marches. So, a little bit difference that Wolf already was trying to, right here, Wolf already trying to declare that he's going to pay for it and everything like that when he automatically killed him. And it doesn't necessarily say Wolf was necessarily there, but that, again, they're changing some things. It's like, okay, at least they're being kind of accurate. Now, 4 years later, it says in 2758 of the Second Age or Third Age, whatever it is, great troubles came to Rohan, and no help can be sent from Gondor, for 3 fleets of the Corsairs attacked it. and there was war on all its coasts. At the same time, Rohan was again invaded from the east, and the Dunderlings, seeing their chance, came over from Isen and down from Isengard. Now, Saruman is not involved in this yet. Saruman was not from this Isengard type property. Saruman is in this movie. There's already a picture going around that and been confirmed that Saruman is in this movie, although, man, I wish Christopher Lee was still alive, because you know he would voice him, absolutely. But he's not alive, unfortunately, so I don't know who's going to voice him. There was, I think in the Two Towers game, someone else voiced Saruman. Maybe it's the same guy. He was kind of close, but I don't know. If you remember the Two Towers game, let me know about that. The Rohirrim were defeated and their land was overrun, and those who were not slain or enslaved fled to the dales of the mountains. Helm was driven back with great loss from the crossings of Isen and took refuge in the Hornburg and the Raven behind, which was known as Helm's Deep. That's where you see that in the movie. There he was besieged. You see that in this trailer. Wolf took Edoras and sat in Middleseld and called himself king. Then there Harleth, Helm's son, fell, last of all defending the doors. Now, it's said one of his sons died. And here we have, right here, I'm guessing this is his older son. This is his two sons, I believe he has two. Mentions he has two, but at least one of them died in Edoras. So you know what's going to happen to one of them already at this point. Soon afterwards, the long winter began, and Rohan lay under snow for nearly 5 months. You see that in the thing. November to March, 2758 to 9. Both the Rohirrim and their foes suffered grievously in the cold and the dearth that lasted longer. In Helm's Deep there was great hunger after Yule. And being in despair against the king's counsel, Hama, yep, here it is, his younger son. Hama, his younger son, led men out of a sortie and foray, but they were lost in the snow. So his younger son was lost in the snow. Helm grew fierce and gaunt for famine and grief, and the dread of him alone was worth many men in the defense of the burg. He would go out by himself, clad in white, and stalk like a snow troll, into the camps of his enemies and slay many men with his hands. It was believed that if he bore no weapon could bite on him. The Dunderlings said that if he could find no food, he ate men, which, I don't know. That tale lasted long in Dunland. Helm had a great horn, and soon it was marked that before he sailed leap forwards, he'd blow a blast upon it that echoed in the deep. And then so great a fear fell on his enemies that instead of gathering to take him or kill him, they fled away to the Coombe. Now, of course, in the movie Two Towers, he said, Helm Hammerhand, the horn shall sound in the deep one last time before they rode out. So that's what they're pulling from in this. One night, men heard the horn howling, but Helm did not return. In the morning there came a sun gleam, the first for long days, and they saw a white figure standing still in the dike, alone, for none of the Dunderlings dared come near. There stood Helm, dead as a stone, but his knees were unbent. Yet men said the horn was still heard at times in the deep, and the wrath of Helm would walk among the foes of Rohan and kill men with fear. Soon after the winter broke, then Frelef, son of Hild, Helm's sister, came out of the Dunharrow, to which many had fled, and with a small company of desperate men he surprised Wolf and Middlesed and slew him, and regained Edoras. Okay, so her name is Freya, I think, isn't it? So, where is it? Okay, my son attacked by Wolf and forces Helm and his people to think strong in the harm. Mighty force Hera, okay, was someone that would have relieved his instincts and intent until the total destruction. I'll get into my thoughts on how the movie's going to go in a bit. There was a great floods after snows, and the Vale of Entowash became a vast vein. The eastern invaders perished or withdrew, and there came help last from Gondor by the roads both east and west of the mountains. Before the year 2759 was ended, the Dunlings were driven out, even from Isengard, and the Frelef became king. And of course, during the time of Frelef is when Saruman appeared. So Saruman shouldn't appear till the end. If they have him earlier in the film, they'd be like, but it shouldn't be till the end. Now, we see her, it almost looks like she's in a wedding dress, this white dress that she has on here. I hate to say it almost looks like she's probably like in a wedding dress or something to fight him. Now, it makes it look like she's going to be the one to kill him, even though Frelef is the one that actually have done it. But what is her portion that what she's doing? Now, it is said, like around this portion here, that she's the fastest rider. So my thought for the movie, even though it says here that she's going to be the trying to lead a resistance, that Helm is going to, of course, be in Helm's Deep, and all that happens is going to seemingly happen. But maybe she's the one riding to Gondor. even though Gondor can't send help, that she's trying to go out and find aid to help everyone here. That is my best guess of what this character is. What she's going to do. She's going to see a little bit of this. They're going to send her out. She's going to try to ride to get help from Gondor, wherever she can. It's not necessarily going to work out, or if they're going to come later. But it's not going to exactly match everything. Of course, you see her riding doing the horn and stuff. I always think this is a wedding dress. I bet she's like, yeah, I'm going to marry you, all right? And wear a wedding dress like a Black Widow type thing right here. Going to kill the future husband. I mean, that's my guess, because she's riding across the land. I will say her outfit here that you see her in, it's doesn't really seem like it fits this era of Lord of the Rings. Of course, it's an anime type thing. That's just how it is. But it is just kind of interesting. So that's my guess, is that she's going to be actually used as a way to try to send out help, and then help with the other Rohan riders to fight Wolf and everything like that. It's very possible she might kill Wolf, unless they make Freylef in, because they have to introduce Freylef to become king, because he's the one that becomes king. So I'm guessing he has to be shown, and he's going to try to do it. But I'd like to say that more than likely it would not surprise me, because Eowyn, looking back at strong female thing that Eowyn kind of aspired to and everything like that. She tried to die in combat and everything. Eowyn, you could say maybe in the book, maybe a little bit more suicidal than the movie version or so, but that die in battle, like that warrior spirit. It would not surprise me if this character dies in this movie. Just saying, it would not surprise me if she dies, because that just seems to be the way that. Yeah, see, this does look like a Black Widow outfit. This outfit does not feel like fantasy in this Tolkien-esque era. I'm just saying. But it would not surprise me if at the end, in killing Wolf, she dies herself. That's just the way it is. Now, technically, you do see a quote-unquote cameo of Helm Hammerhand in the Lord of the Rings movies, and I'm not talking about the statue stuff either in the Hornburg, because, continuing on, Helm was brought forth from the Hornburg and laid in the 9th mound, ever after the white cymbeline grew there mostly thickly, so the mound seemed to be snow-clad. When Freylef died, a new line of mounds would begin. Now, I brought this up. This scene from Two Towers.
Cymbeline.
Ever has it grown on the tombs of my forebears. Now it shall cover the grave of my son.
These here. These mounds out here are graves, but they're in the mounds of the previous kings and everything. So Helm's and his sons and everything are here in these mounds. And each mound represents a dynasty of that type of thing.
Alas, that these evil days should be mine.
I'm going to watch the scene real quick, because
the young perish and the old.
When I admit, I knew this was a grave thing in the movie, because that's obvious from where he's at, but you didn't know the significance of these until I read it, and I was like, oh, that's what these are. But I'm going to watch the scene real quick, because this is an important scene.
Linger.
I can't help it. This is an important scene.
That I should live to see the last days of my house.
Cedric's death was not of your making.
No parent should have to bury their child.
He was strong in life. His spirit will find its way to the halls of your fathers. Rest to Helm.
I hope in the in this, if they do a scene like that, they're really respectful and it's just impactful like this. Because if not, that's a missed opportunity. There should be, considering if it's from Peter Jackson and everything, he should at least be looking at his stuff to be like, yeah, okay, this is going to be impactful. Because without that, you're not gonna get much reaction. Now, as far as the view and artistry of this movie, what I think about it, I'm going to see it, and I'll make a review after I watch it, when it comes out. I'm curious what they're going to do. I mean, I'm excited for Miranda Otto as Eowyn to come back. I like character Eowyn. Eowyn's one of my favorite female characters, but so to have that connection type thing to point back to this, like I wonder if a way you could, brief live action type thing, have like Eowyn telling Faramir, because that'd be an interesting thing. Have Eowyn telling Faramir, like they tell each other the histories of their, of their peoples and everything, because Faramir is very learned, that she would tell him about the history of Rohan, because that would be an interesting thing, and that would be what this is all about, from the Jackson point of view. But the one good thing, especially from this, that I would say would be good, I know they announced the Search for Gollum movie with Andy Serkis supposed to be Gollum. It's supposed to be them trying to search for Gollum, because again, when they went out to search for Gollum, like Gandalf said in the movie, that was actually 30 years in the book, or about 30 years. I know you have that fan film that was with the same title get copyrighted all of a sudden, even though that film's been out for 20 years or so. I was like, wait, why are we getting copyrighted? So that was interesting, but that's back online, fortunately. But what I wanted to bring that up for is because animation might be the better way of doing things. As opposed to trying to live action everything, there are far more, animation can be as great as the Jackson movies were. But animation can allow you to do a little bit more and get away with some things that live action would just look silly and stuff that you can't do without looking realistic or making sense, you could say. So I don't know. So what I'm saying is, the Search of Gollum, you could actually make a cartoon. I mean, why not do that going forward? You could do it in different styles and different ways. So this one's an anime version. You can have another one more in a different type of anime version or something else. I would like to see it more in cartoon form than I would necessarily always live action. Because reading all through these, I just got a picture of everything. I'm like, man, what if they made it all like completely just cartoon in some ways? I could just picture, I don't know. So that's what happens in the book version. She's not mentioned, but I think she's going to be more useful in going out to try to get help. Doesn't really work out except coming to save Gondor. Freeleaf has to be introduced because he's going to become the next king. But it wouldn't surprise me if she dies at the end. I'm just saying, because that would complete the Helm Hammerhand thing. Maybe from the warrior type thing, because if they're pulling from the historical things that Tolkien took from, wouldn't surprise me if she killed herself. Can I say that on YouTube now? Sudoku, whatever herself. Seppuku herself in the thing as well. It wouldn't surprise me either, because that's an option that in a way she would do. So I don't know. I know I see split about the movie and everything, although I see more excitement that, okay, it's more of something from Jackson. Let's see what he would do. So what is your thoughts on it? What do you think about it? And tell me what you think. We'll see. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.